Math doesn't represent reality. Is that true? Or is it an intellectually dishonest cop-out? Roll the intro. Math doesn't represent reality. That is so common from the science-denying globe deniers. Getting tired of hearing it because it's just repetitive bullshit. Every time you back them into a corner, that's what they come out with. I did that to Gary Rubinga a few months back on a Shills live stream, and his answer to me was math doesn't represent reality. He was explaining his concept of how the Rayleigh criterion explains how objects disappear below the horizon on a flat Earth. I said, well, those angles are different than what is in the Rayleigh criterion. How does it fit the equation? His answer was, math doesn't represent reality. So let me get this straight, Gary. You want to invoke the Rayleigh criterion, but ignore his equation. Well, here's a little clue for you and all you other science-denying globe deniers out there. The definition of the Rayleigh criterion is the equation. That's the way physics works. What you keep quoting is the explanation to fit that equation. So if you're going to invoke the Rayleigh criterion, you have to fit that equation to do it. But why is it such a common claim by globe deniers? Math doesn't represent reality. Well, it certainly isn't because it's not true, because it's not. It certainly isn't because it's true, because it's not. How do I know that? Because I'm an engineer. I, on a daily basis, do math to represent reality. It's literally what I do for a living. The customer calls with a problem. They want to make a change to a system, temperatures, pressures, sizes, weights, whatever it is. I do the calculations necessary to determine whether it meets the design criteria, whether it's safe, and then I tell them whether or not they can do it with nothing but math. I'd like to see any of you globe deniers design an 8-lane, 2-deck suspension bridge over a windy gorge with high snow loads in the wintertime, high snow and ice loads. Do that without math. I'd love to see any of you try to do that. The very device you're working on right now, that you're watching this video on, it's not only designed with math. A lot of the internal chipsets, the shit that makes it all work, actually uses complex numbers or imaginary numbers in the math to design those things. And the operating system that makes them work, they're all algorithms. It's all math. So the device you're working on right now that you're watching this video on uses math to allow you to watch this video. Let's get to a more realistic, relatable example. A machinist, he's got to make this part. He's got to set up his milling machine and his bits and the table angle and put it all together. He's got to make some calculations to decide which is the easiest, the best way for him to do it. He's saying that math doesn't represent his reality. That family sitting around their kitchen table doing their budget, trying to figure out how to pay for their kids' college tuition, I guarantee you that math represents their reality. But why do they make these claims? Why is it that they always shy away from the math? Is it really true that math doesn't represent reality? Well, no, obviously it does not. In the real world, you cannot survive without it. You cannot build without it. Technology doesn't exist without it. So then why do they say it? It is an intellectually dishonest cop-out to avoid the fact that they can't make it work for whatever flat earth explanation that they come up with. Gary said that to me because he knew his explanation for why shit disappears below the horizon based upon Rayleigh's criterion. He knew we couldn't make it fit the equation, so that was his answer. It is a dishonest cop-out. It's an outright lie. That's what they're doing. That's what that's all about. The real world, you can't survive without math. Cashiers don't make change. The contractor that comes to your house, you're just going to let him assume some amount of flooring material for your kitchen? Or are you going to hope he calculates it right and doesn't overbuy material so that you don't have to pay too much? Or are you, when you go out to build that shed in your backyard, you're just going to go to the home center, buy some stuff, and if it's not enough, you go back and you buy some more stuff? Or are you going to calculate how much lumber you need to build that shed? Of course you're going to calculate it. How do you do your fucking taxes without math? Or, do any of you have jobs to pay taxes with? Who knows? The fact is, it's a lie. It's an intellectually dishonest lie. Math, when properly used, really does represent reality. And engineers, scientists, cashiers, and seamstresses, machinists do it every single day. They use math as part of their job every day. So you guys need to figure out how to get around that, because, math doesn't represent reality. It's not going to fly anymore. I'm Mike, and I'll see you next time.